Hey everyone. Hi. Welcome. Welcome to the Quest Show. Look who finally made it here. Me, this gal. I did it. Finally. Sometimes a gal just has to take a break from the madness that's going on. So, like, every other week is a perfect balance for me. But then I feel like when I sit down to prepare notes, because I do prepare notes, I know I ramble a lot and it seems like I don't prepare notes, but I do prepare notes. There's so much, and I have to try to pick and choose what to talk about. But we're going to jump right in because, again, I ramble a lot and I don't want to take up too much time. It would be nice to finish within an hour or prior to 8 o'clock. But before I begin, I want to ask you all to please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. For folks that have already subscribed, please hit that notification bell if you have not, just so you know when I do come on, because it's spotty. I'm not every single Thursday. It's more like every other Thursday. But thank you to my new subscribers. And if you have subscribed and you don't have the notification bell on, please hit that. And let's jump right in. How is everyone doing? Let's start there. How are you guys doing? How are you feeling? Are you waking up like I wake up in the morning? I wake up and for like a split second, I forget what's happening outside of that door. Like I forget who's the president. Like, and it's just a nice and peaceful feeling just for a split second, because you just forget the madness when you first wake up. It's just like, and then you maybe turn on the news, or you just start to remember, or you're reading something, I don't know, the newspaper or Twitter, Facebook, and it just all comes back just full force, and you're like, not this motherfucker again. Like, didn't we just go through this nonsense and we're back again? Like, sometimes you just don't even want to listen to the news. I do not tune in on the weekend, like from actually Friday when I get off of work until Monday morning. I don't. I may read it because I'm still kind of on, social media, but I can't consume it. It's just too much. So with that being said, there's a new variant of COVID. How y'all feeling about that? My oldest daughter has COVID right now, and she got it from someone who had COVID. So COVID is still around, and we're almost in June, and she's got COVID and she's pregnant. So, don't worry. It's only a new variant out here. So as of May 2025, that's where we're at right now, right? May 2025. Hold on, let me put my comments right. Sorry, I messed everything up. Here we go. We are in May 2025. So there is a new variant known as, these numbers make no sense to me, but known as NB181, originating in China. And it has been detected in multiple states: California, New York. There's a few more, like 3 or 4 more states this variant of COVID has been detected in. And it's highly transmissible. Who knew, right? Like, who knew? Who knew that? But don't you worry. The Three Stooges, Larry, Moe, and Curly over at the health department, they got our back. So you don't have to worry about no new variant. Let's take a listen to what RFK Jr. has to say.
Hi, everybody. I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your HHS Secretary, and I'm here today with NIH Director Dr. Jay Bhattacharya and FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty Makary. I couldn't be more pleased to announce that as of today, the COVID vaccine for healthy children and healthy pregnant women has been removed from the CDC recommended immunization schedule.
Mhm.
Last year, the Biden administration urged healthy children to get yet another COVID shot despite the lack of any clinical data to support the repeat booster strategy in children.
That ends today. It's common sense and it's good science.
There's no evidence healthy kids need it today, and most countries have stopped recommending it for children.
We're now one step closer to realizing President Trump's promise to make America healthy again.
They're trying to kill us. They're trying to kill us. Like, it's just going to be the ultra rich and the poor and the dead. Like, I don't know. They're trying to kill us. There is no way that they want Americans healthy. I tell people they want us like broke, hungry, poor, and sick. Because if we're broke, hungry, poor, and sick, how can we fight them? We're not going to be able to go out to protest because we're going to be too fucking hungry and sick to do it. Like, there's no way they want us healthy. Like, there is a new variant, highly transmissible. And they're like, granted, right? Words mean things. He did say like healthy children and I don't know, healthy pregnant women. We're changing the guidelines, right? But people hear something different. They hear, we don't need to take vaccines ever. No vaccines, nothing, right? So like that's what people are hearing. So no one is ever going to want to be vaccinated again. I'm talking about anti-vaxxers. Like their minds are made up. And it's so friggin' crazy because their people died. Like, did we not forget the million odd people who died? Like they died. We saw makeshift morgues out in the streets of New York. People did not want to get on ventilators, or if you were on ventilators, you knew you were not getting off alive. People's families were like dying. Family members were dying in other states because hospitals couldn't take them in their own state, so they had to transfer them somewhere else where they died, and then the families had to figure out how to bring them back. Like, what part of that did MAGA go, I really enjoyed that period of time, that 2020 to 2023? It was truly enjoyable. Why did we want to go back there? That shit is insane. So on top of that, right? On top of that, measles. There's like 1,000 cases of measles in Texas right now. 1,000. What did RFK Jr. go on TV to tell people to do? Vitamin A and cod liver oil. What's the problem? What's the problem? You don't want those vaccines. Maybe they cause autism. Like, no, maybe not. Maybe autism is just autism. Maybe there are so many spectrums of autism that for years and years and years and years, people had it and no one knew what it was, right? They probably thought they were mentally challenged. Just like there's so many spectrums of autism right now. So you cannot say, and it has not been proven, there's no scientific fact or data that links it. Just think of the sheer number of people who have had vaccinations who do not have autism. But you know what? You don't vaccinate your fucking kids. You know what they may have? A variant of COVID that may kill you. Maybe the measles, because what? Maybe 4 children have already died from measles. And because Mo, Larry, and Curly has told people to go and take vitamin A, now the hospitals are seeing children with liver damage. Why? Because they're ingesting so much vitamin A that their parents are giving them. So you'd rather, if someone said to me, exactly what is vitamin A? I couldn't tell you, right? So these people are like, I don't want the COVID vaccine because I don't know what's in it. Meanwhile, we give our kid vitamin A, that's what you're going to do as a cure, which is causing liver damage. Like, make it make some sense, because it's not making any sense to me. And then you had that couple whose child died from the measles and said, well, we could do it all over again. We still ain't getting no vaccines. Measles was eradicated. There's no cases of measles before. Now we have like 1,000. We got tuberculosis is coming back. We got polio is coming back. But by all means, let's trust the guy that had a brain worm and also went swimming in a bacteria pond with his grandchildren. Let's trust that guy, because that makes sense. That makes sense. You know who else that guy is? RFK Jr., who everyone is trusting, all of the MAGAs and anti-vaxxers. Let's take another listen to RFK Jr. and all of his wisdom, right? Because he's the health guy. He has the health department, not a doctor, no degree in medicine. It just came out that his Make America Health Again, his whole program, the thing, his studies that he wrote and cited studies, they didn't exist. He wrote bullshit and made up these studies as data, right? But let's trust that guy. Here he is right now. Here's the guy. If I can get him up here.
I could read.
Oh, wait, gotta start it. There we go. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
When I was at the bottom of my class, I started doing heroin. I went to the top of my class. Suddenly I could sit still and I could read.
Oh, sorry. Did you guys hear that? Because I wasn't paying attention.
And I was at the bottom of my class.
Bottom of the class.
I started doing heroin. I went to the top of my class. Suddenly I could sit still and I could read.
So this guy is saying, don't worry, you don't need vaccines. Vitamin A and cod liver oil for measles. Don't you worry about it. This guy that just told you that when he started taking heroin, he could read better. He shot up to the top of his class, MAGA. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what to say anymore. Let's just move on, because I could just talk about this forever. We're gonna let's move on to my notes, because like that is nuts. So what else happened? So much I can't remember it off the top of my head. Also, I just prepared these an hour ago. Oh, speaking of heroin and nonsense, I mean, we have to listen to MAGA's Orange Daddy, their fearless leader, because they had so much to say about Biden. Oh, Sleepy Joe. Oh, does he even know where he is? And it's like Trump was caught sleeping like I don't know how many times in the past couple of weeks. Every time he travels and he goes somewhere and he's like, there's a speech or something, he's dozing. If he's not golfing, he's sleeping. But also, half the time we don't know what he's talking about. So I just love to play these things just to remind MAGA who their daddy is. So let's remind them. Oh no, let's go back.
As a linguist, translator, and cryptologic technician.
Let's say that again, because y'all tell me in the chat what he tried to say.
As a linguist, translator, and cryptologic technician.
I don't know. So that was, I think that was not West Point. So maybe that was at Arlington Cemetery, because he did both of those things in one day. on Memorial Day. And on Memorial Day, remember, he came out, and maybe if you're not on social media, his Memorial Day thank you for your service was not a thank you for your service. I think it had like words about like scum and liberals, and it just didn't have nothing about the soldiers. Let's just say that. Like, it didn't thank the soldiers on Memorial Day for their service. It had all kinds of other stuff in it, because, but that's who he is, right? Like, in all caps, that's who he is. So I think that was the Arlington Cemetery speech where he made it all about himself, because that's what he did. And I believe that that was after he went to West Point and made it all about himself again, because again, that's what he does. He makes it all about himself. Literally went, and see, this is a problem I just have with us as Americans, right? Fucking speak out. And I'm going to show you why if you have not heard it yet. He goes to West Point. These are kids that just graduated, right? They're our next military. He does a commencement. It's about, go forth and prosper and do well. The way we honor our military, blah, blah, blah. This guy talks about trophy wives. I don't know. Al Capone, he has on a MAGA hat, which this stuff is not political, right? Because the military is not political. The military does not fight for Republicans or Democrats. Like, that's not how this works. It's military. The military is full of whatever. It's America. It's the Constitution. They don't fight for white people or just fight for, like, that's not how it works. But he makes everything so gross and so despicable and so about him, and it just doesn't change. But my point with Americans is, if I were at my son's or daughter's commencement and he came there and made a mockery of it, right? Because when he's making a mockery of something, everyone there did not support that MAGA motherfucker. They just didn't. I would be all over social media, everywhere, talking about it. What the fuck was that shit? He couldn't even pronounce words. He made it about him. Like, everyone there, why didn't anyone talk about it? Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about it because my kid wasn't there, but I'm going to let you listen to what he said. Oh, I'm sorry that it's low. I'm sorry that it's low because I recorded it from my TV. So I'm going to try to turn the volume up and see if you can hear it. I'm apologize again.
Some very radicalized, sick people. And I say I was investigated more than the great late Alphonse Capone.
Remember, he is talking at a commencement at West Point, talking about his investigations. He was investigating more than Al Capone or Alphonse Capone.
Alphonse Capone was a monster. He was a very hardened criminal. I went through more investigations than Alphonse Capone.
I went through more. It's just awful.
And now I'm talking to you as president. Can you believe this? Can you believe it?
Does he sound sharp and present?
He does not sound sharp and present. And Chris Hayes was just about the only one who is talking about Trump's decline, right? Because there is a decline and no one's writing about it. You just heard he couldn't even, whatever word he was trying to say that he mangled. And now here he is at a commencement talking about Al Capone, his investigations, and he spent the time talking about trophy wives and buying a house somewhere on the Cape or somewhere, and like penthouses. It was nuts.
After our first criminally convicted president finished up, he left without even shaking the hands of the newest class of Army second lieutenants.
He left without shaking their hands.
Which is part of the tradition that all previous presidents have done. Then yesterday he went to Arlington National Cemetery for the traditional Memorial Day presidential address. He gave an even more bizarre, though mercifully shorter, digression near the graves of Americans who gave their lives in service to our country.
These extraordinary American heroes and their immense and ultimate sacrifices they offer only the faintest glimpse at the infinite grace we have received from all who laid down their lives for America. Over the past 250 years, we're going to have a big celebration, as you know, 250 years. In some ways, I'm glad I missed that second term where it was, because I wouldn't be your president. For that most important of all, in addition, we have the World Cup and we have the Olympics. Can you imagine? I missed that 4 years, and now look what I have. I have everything. Amazing the way things work out.
Okay, we're not going to listen to the whole thing, but again, Arlington Cemetery, that's supposed to be the most sacred of the sacred places. There are fallen soldiers there, right? You don't know what their politics were. You don't know if they even cared about politics, but they cared about their country. And this guy, per usual, desecrates every place that he goes. Remember the last time he was at Arlington Cemetery? Didn't his staff pick a fight with an Arlington Cemetery worker because they're like, yo, you can't take pictures in front of these markers or tombstones, the tombstones of the unknown soldiers or whatever it's called. And then they got into a fight because he was trying to do his production, like he was trying to stage, a video, because that's what he does, and then got into a fight. Like, he doesn't care. And it's just, it baffles the mind that people look at just a couple of things. I mean, we've seen it for years, but like, on its face, like, what's wrong with them? You would have your family member committed if they did things like this. But them, they're like, oh, what's the problem? He's getting rid of the brown people. We don't care. We don't care. So let's move on. So again, I wasn't here last week. Claudine, thank you for the comment. Claudine writes in the chat, I'm glad he didn't shake their hands. They would be defying their oath to the Constitution if they would have. I'm glad they didn't shake his dirty hand just because his hands are dirty. So there's that. And he's a criminal. So you're right. Last week, I believe it was last week, he met with the South African president. Another shit show on purpose, right? So what I gather, and I don't know if this is true information or not, but I kept reading that the South African president came to talk about tariffs. I don't know if that's true because I don't know what we're getting, importing, or exporting from South Africa. So I don't know if that's why he came. Maybe he actually did come to try to clarify this white genocide nonsense. But I also think, like, why would anyone even want to come and talk to this man to try to dignify? Because what he's going to do is do a stunt in a show. You know that. So you got to be hella prepared for the stunt and the show, because that's what you're going to get when you're dealing with Donald Trump. He's not going to be up and up with you. And I've only seen one person that could actually put him in his place, and that was the Black woman that no MAGA wanted to vote for, or people didn't want to get up off their asses to go and vote because she was a woman and she was Black and she was married to a Jewish man and she was also Indian. So like, all of those things were a problem. So they let this pig slip by. But I digress. Let's go back to what happened in that gold gaudy room of Donald Trump's when he met with the South African president to talk about the fake white genocide. Add to stage.
Questions, please.
Mr. President, you've
Questions, please.
Mr. President, you've welcomed white Afrikaner refugees here. Can you explain to Americans why it's appropriate to welcome white Afrikaners here when other refugees like Afghans, Venezuelans, Haitians have all had their protected status revoked?
Well, this is a group, NBC, that is truly fake news. They ask a lot of questions in a very pointed way. They're not questions, they're statements. We've had tremendous complaints about Africa, about other countries too, from people. They say there's a lot of bad things going on in Africa, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. When you say we don't take others, all you have to do is take a look at the southern border. We let 21 million people come through our border, totally unchecked, totally unvetted. They came from all over the world. In many cases, they're criminals. They come from prisons. They come from mental institutions. They come from street gangs. They're drug dealers. So don't say that we didn't take them. We take them. We're trying to get them out as fast as we can. And we're doing record business on that. And we just won a big case where we're allowed to send back hundreds of criminals to Venezuela. Just won that today in the Supreme Court. I'm happy to hear. But we do have a lot of people are very concerned with regard to South Africa, and that's really the purpose of the meeting, and we'll see how that turns out. But we have many people that feel they're being persecuted, and they're coming to the United States. So we take from many locations if we feel there's persecution or genocide going on. And we had a lot of people. I must tell you, Mr. President, we have had a tremendous number of people, especially since they've seen this. Generally, they're white farmers, and they're fleeing South Africa, and it's a very sad thing to see. But I hope we can have an explanation of that, because I know you don't want that. It's a kind of a different meeting. Normally, we have meetings, we talk about trade, and we'll be talking about trade and other things. But that certainly will be a subject that comes up. Yeah.
Okay, so he said there would be talking about trade, so it was trade tariffs. Okay, so I feel like, I know, the Trump administration got the South African president here under false pretenses. Also, I'm just going to say it, if you guys don't know it or you don't feel it, we are living through a white nationalist government. It's like a Nazi regime. They're white nationalists. And they trumpeted this before. They told us that this is how they were going to run America. Like, they started doing the thing where it was like a reverse racism, right? They started to do the thing where it's like, Black people, there's no racism against Black people. It's racism against white people. That's what they start to do. They started to use the Department of Justice not to investigate like police brutality against Black and brown people or like hate crimes against like minorities. No. They use it to investigate where they think that white people are being oppressed by DEI, no less, right? Like, they've already started to do this. They started with like Black women. Black women are going to college and graduating college at the highest rates ever. They're opening up businesses at high rates. They are entrepreneurs. They had to stop that. So now what they did was they sued because there were grants, specific grants for Black women entrepreneurs. They sued and said, oh no, that grant is discriminatory against white people, meaning white men, right? White men get like 97, 98% of grants for startup businesses. Black women get like 0.06. It's nothing. So this administration has already started to lay the groundwork about white people are getting the short end of the stick here. Everything else is like everyone is catering to you gay people, the black people, so that's what this is. He said before, why do we have to take immigrants from those countries? Why can't we just take them from the white countries, right? Like that's what he wanted to do. So that's why whoever these so-called South African refugees are, one, who knows that they're from South Africa? Two, we've heard that they're not farmers, right? Because a South African journalist went on, I think, Fox News and said they're not even farmers. They didn't look like farmers. They were really large and obese, and not saying no shade, no, none of that. But I'm just saying, if you are a farmer and you are working that land and you're out every day, sun up to sundown, you're probably not going to look like that, right? Like you're going to look a certain way. They just look like MAGA with accents. I digress again. So after he does that little rant, he ambushes the South African president with a video. He goes, turn the lights down. And I didn't cut that one to be here. Turn the lights down. They turn the lights down. And then he plays a video of like white crosses and markers, just like, I guess, per him, thousands of them. I don't know. Couldn't see it. South African president is like looking. He's like, where is that? Where is that? Like asking, what are we talking about? Because Trump is going, just look at it. Look at that voice that he does when he's trying to be like serious and somber. Just look at all of those crosses. Look, there's just thousands and thousands. They represent no. The South African farmers, the white farmers, they're buried there, just thousands of them. And then those cars are there to visit the graves. And again, the South African president is like, where is this? South Africa, like, what the fuck does that mean? Like South Africa? Excuse me, a whole country? Like where in the country is that? That's just like showing someone in Italy a video clip like, look at this, look what happened. And they're like, where is it? You're like, America. Like where in America? What are you talking about? So that's what he said. And then he has all of these Trump pictures. Just look at this. Look at this. Look at all this killing. And he's like, what is that? Right? So the South African president's just like, what is happening here? What are these things that you're showing me? All right. So now the South African president says, there is no white genocide. There is a crime problem. There's a crime problem in all of the countries, right? There is crime. He's telling him that there are more black farmers, people who are actually farmers, that are killed or who are victims of crimes than white farmers. And I believe it was like, don't get me to lying, it was like a couple of 200 black farmers, maybe 40 white farmers, right? But it wasn't, of course, it's not genocide because those numbers don't equal a genocide. That's some bullshit that Trump is saying. But also it's because of crime of opportunity. That's what's happening there, as it's happening in a lot of places. And that's what they were trying to explain. Trump knows this. He doesn't care about it. It doesn't fit the narrative. So then come to find out days later, that wasn't even in South Africa, and those weren't buried bodies. They were just markers that represented, I don't know, people who have died, but it wasn't South Africa, and it had nothing to do with whatever the narrative is. Interesting enough, the South African president brought his delegation to the White House with him. So now, white South African gets up there, tells Trump, there is no white genocide, right? Like, okay, dude, now a white man is telling you that's from South Africa, that there is, and I'm a part of this delegation, there is no white genocide. Well, that's what they tell me. Like, it's completely maddening. Best thing that came out of this is that the South African president turned to Trump and said, I don't have a plane to offer you. He even knows, right? He even knows because he's right. Because guess what? If the South African president had a plane to offer Donald Trump, none of this would be happening. He would love him. He would love him. So that's what happened. Let's move on. What time is it? Oh, 15 minutes. We got this, guys. We got this. We can go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, we're going to talk about the big, beautiful bill. Yeah, I want to talk about the big, beautiful bill or what? I don't know. Hey, MAGA, the big, beautiful bill. How's that helping you? How's it going to help you? Have you heard what's in it? You heard what's not in it? Have you heard who it's benefiting? Oh, you haven't? Because why do you think that we're doing things in the middle of the night having that vote? I don't know. Let's see. Well, you know what? MAGA's just happy with the no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. Because if you say anything about how bad the bill is, they go, well, no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. So guess what? If that just happens to be in the bill or gets passed or whatever, companies are just not going to give you overtime. What are you, stupid? They're just not going to give you overtime. They're not going to pay for overtime. Don't be dumb. Why would they do that? Also, tax on tips. And also, how many people would that actually benefit? In America, how many people is that going to benefit? But let's talk about the tax on tips because it's hilarious. Because I do hear a lot of people like, yes, no more tax on tips. Let's listen to her talk because she's a waitress, so she can explain what that means better than I can.
It's for cash tips only. And if you've been a server, tips, huh? You think that sounds really good? Did you read the fine print? Because I did. It's for cash tips only. And if you've been a server or worked in the service industry longer than 5 years and you've been watching this country decline, you'll know that hardly anybody pays with cash. They pay with card, they pay with tap, or they scan the little QR code at the bottom of the receipt. This doesn't fucking help us. This is going to help no one because we don't claim our tips anyway because we're poor. So yes, pat yourself on the back for the tangerine tyrant pulling another one over on you guys. You're fucking dumb.
It's so true. It's so true. They share tips. There's no tax on fucking cash tips anyway. Half the time they're like sharing the tips. Like, what are you talking about, MAGA? You're so excited about that. Meanwhile, tax cuts for people making over $500,000 a year. They're getting the bennies. They're getting the tax cuts. You know what else you're getting next to your no tax on tips myth? Let's see. $267 billion less in federal spending for SNAP. So, MAGA, you guys, maybe you didn't know this in your bubble, but the red states deal with these, SNAP, Medicaid, more than anyone. So your SNAP benefits are going to be cut $267 billion. What was all that firing that Doge did, right? If they were just going to come back and cut the shit that you needed anyway. What was all that for? Why is cancer research being cut? Right? So not only are you going to be fucking hungry, they're not going to be able to cure like diseases and shit. Those hurricane season starts Sunday. Hurricane season starts Sunday. The climate center got cut. How do you think that's going to play out? Huh, MAGA? How's that going to play out? I don't think too good. So now your kids are going to be hungry because SNAP is being cut. $698 billion less in federal subsidies for Medicaid. So, like, the state is going to have to pay more for Medicaid. How's that going to work? How are hospitals going to stay open in those rural areas, MAGA? Because again, this impacts, y'all laugh. Like MAGA laughs all day, liberal tears, duh, right? But if you are a MAGA and you are living in Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, how does gonna work for you? $698 billion in Medicaid. How are people going to get their prescriptions? They want to like make it harder to be on Medicaid. They want to make it stricter. They act like people on Medicaid aren't already working if they are able-bodied. They are, because they have to. There are already rules and regulations in place for Medicaid where if you are an able body, you do have to bring in some income. But the Trump administration wants to make it even more strict, and you have to work more hours. But the problem with that, MAGA, is that when you work more hours to get into the new Medicaid rules, then you're messing up the rules for your housing because they require you to work less hours. So now you're about to get kicked off of Section 8 because you make too much, but if you don't work enough hours, you won't have Medicaid. So Medicaid or housing, I don't know, figure it out. This is the predicament this regime is putting you in. Again, make it make sense. It's not making any sense, and no one understands that it's not making sense. And I don't understand why no one understands that this is not making any sense. Just on its face. Also, remember how MAGA is just so upset about the deficit? It's oh my God, the deficit. This big, beautiful bill is adding $2.3 trillion to the deficit. All for the tax cuts, because this is what it's ultimately for, right? It's the tax cuts for the wealthy. They gotta find the money. They gotta try to balance it out. So they have to take from us so they can give to the wealthy. And this is the thing that we have been screaming at MAGA forever, and they just don't get it. They are cutting our benefits, taking away from us. Social Security is coming too. They want to take our stuff, cut what we need so that they can give it to their wealthy people who don't even care if we live or die. Get COVID, get measles, get polio, tuberculosis. They don't care. RFK Jr. is yeah, don't take any vaccines. We don't care. You don't need anything. Meanwhile, new COVID variant is about to be over our heads. And they're about to get, cut Medicaid. People are going to be sick with no health insurance. So I said, they're trying to kill us. Because if we are hungry, sick, and poor, we can't fight back. We're not going to be able to protest. We're just going to be too tired. We're too tired. We're going to have to try to find how to feed our kids. We tried to tell you. She tried to tell you we didn't have to be here. All you had to do is vote for Kamala Harris. Someone who actually had plans. There's no plans here. The only plan that he had was the tax cuts for the wealthy and for himself. All right, let's move on. Oh, Wow. Talking about MAGA, because this is the time of year when we're just fucking around and finding out, right? Like they're finding out, they're going to find out about the Medicaid and the SNAP benefits. I mean, so Democrats that didn't support Trump, but like, this is what's just going to happen. Everyone suffers so that, people can learn lessons. So I think Mississippi, maybe they're learning a lesson right now because Trump ain't thinking about that hurricane that hit there and trying to help them. I'm going to stop talking because I love MAGA tears. So let's listen to that. MAGA tears. Hold on, let me make sure I get the right. I think it's this one. Hold on, guys. Hold the phone. Let's see.
No tax on tips, huh? You think
That's not it. Hold on, I'll find it. I swear. Video 7. Maybe it's this one.
Frustration is growing in Tylertown, Mississippi, where residents say they're still waiting for federal assistance. Frustration is growing.
Let's back up. Residents in a Mississippi town are growing frustrated because their orange daddy has not shown up. Oh, it's just too bad.
Growing in Tylertown, Mississippi, where residents say they're still waiting for federal assistance some 2 months after a tornado tore through their town.
I know President Trump said that America first, we're going to help our American folks first, but we haven't seen the federal folks down here.
That's what happens when you're fucking racist. That's what happens when you're like, woo, yeah, white nationalism. That's what happens when you're just so giddy and happy, like, yeah, get the brown people out of here. That's what happens when you want to control women's body. That's what happens when you make women walk around with dead fetuses in their body. That's what happens when you want to arrest women for having a fucking miscarriage. That's what happens when you're happy that brown people, immigrants are being disappeared. That's what fucking happens when you're racist. Oh, we thought President Trump. Why? President Trump, your president, your orange daddy does not need your fucking vote right now. That's why he's not there. Because remember when North Carolina had that storm, and then President Biden, he had to wait until they start clearing stuff out so he didn't take all the police and all the services away from them so he can come in and see what was going on. But he released FEMA within hours. FEMA was there and on the ground. And then comes MAGA's orange daddy into North Carolina, posing in front of shops saying Biden's not doing enough. Then telling people of North Carolina, fucking dumb MAGA freaks, oh, FEMA, you can't trust them because they're going to take your home. You can't trust them. That's a loan. You have to pay that money back. And you have fucking fools with mold running up and down the ceilings to the walls like, I'm not going to trust no FEMA because my orange daddy told me not to. That's what they did. You had one guy shooting at FEMA workers. FEMA are not Republicans. FEMA are not Democrats. They just want to fucking help. Boots on the ground to give you services, to give you that right away money that you need so you can get groceries, get a hotel room. But that orange pig strolls into town for a photo op, tells these people beware of FEMA. Now this motherfucker is begging. Yeah, he's not in North Carolina, he's in Mississippi, but he saw the shit went down. He don't need your vote. He's not coming. North Carolina requested an extension of the FEMA. They needed an extension of relief after Hurricane Helene, right? He denied it initially. He said no. They had to appeal it, and then it got approved. You know how long that shit takes? And people are still without? And I'm not fuck MAGA, right? I'm talking about people who may not have voted for that fool. Without. Now you got Arkansas. Oh no. North Carolina, he denied, and it didn't go to appeal. That was Arkansas. Sarah Huckabee. Arkansas had floods, and he denied them. And then they appealed, and then it got approved on appeal. Then you have Kentucky. Kentucky was denied as well. And they had flood back in February, and they still don't have FEMA money since February. And then you have West Virginia flooding. They were denied too. So you got West Virginia, you have Kentucky, you have North Carolina, you have Mississippi. What do they have in common? MAGA. And he's not helping them. And the sad thing about it, that guy we just saw right there, he would vote for him again. In a heartbeat. Just keep up that hate. Keep up that hate there. Got it. You know, that's our leader. Getting them immigrants out of here, them Mexican rapists. They'll vote for him again. No house, no car, living in a shabby motel. They don't care. They would still vote for him again. Shit's wild. Let's move on. So next, so all of this suffering, everyone's suffering except for who? Who's not suffering in this equation, right? Who's not suffering? MAGA suffers. Democrats suffer because we got to live through this shit after we told them. But Trump is not suffering. Matter of fact, Trump is making buku money. He's not suffering at all. His corruption is out in the open because he knows he is just about untouchable right now. Who's going to stop him? He's got immunity. He doesn't care. Qatar is giving him a fucking plane. He's like, oh no, it's not giving it to me. It's going to the library, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's going to replace Air Force One, blah, blah. Air Force One is so old. Like, imagine that. Imagine him. Because have you ever seen Air Force One? Yeah, it's 40 years old, but it's like luxury inside. It's not like a 40-year-old plane that you would think it is. Come on, y'all. You know it's not. But he's saying that ain't good enough. He wants the plane from the Qataris because it's fancier. So he's saying, America, y'all need to suffer. Y'all have the 2 dolls and the 8 crayons. Yeah, I know groceries are still like he don't care as long as he gets what he wants, which is that fucking plane. He wants that plane. I think they approved it already. I don't know. What are we gonna do? Democrats can't stop it. It's like they can't. Congress is like, we don't care. We're good with it. His administration is like, oh no, nothing to see here. It's not corruption. It's not bribery. What would you say? Why would you think it's bribery? Because every president gets like a $4 billion plane. Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, it's not even a free plane. If the taxpayers, me, you, y'all out there, you in the chat, if y'all, hey, baby Juggernaut, didn't see you there. If y'all and me have to pay for the plane to be retrofitted. Like, so how is this a free plane when we have to pay for it? I mean, the plane's like, what, they say $4 billion or something? The Qataris have been trying to get rid of it for 6 years. Why do we want a plane they've been trying to get rid of for 6 years? Like, Trump is a whole sucker. Like, he is the sucker and the loser because why would you do that? Then there's a plane that has to be taken apart, totally taken apart, and then rebuilt. Because why wouldn't the Qataris put a listening device in the plane that they're giving our government? Like, of course they would. Like, none of it, it just doesn't make sense. He just sees gold and glitter, right? That's his language. golden glitter, all the glitzy stuff. That's his language. And he will sell out his kids for it. And they know it. They know how to get in with him. He's over there, open up luxury hotels, luxury golf resorts. Like he's pulling in the bugs, right? So he's got that going on with his luxury hotels and his resorts over there in Qatar and wherever else he's opening over in the Middle East. And then you got him in DC with the club called the Executive Branch, where like membership is, I don't know, $500,000 membership because it's private. You don't have to worry about reporters there. So there's that. He's making money from that. He's making money from the deals in the Middle East with the Saudis, the people responsible for 9/11, the people who fund terrorism, but he's okay with that. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay. I swear it's okay. So that's what he's doing. He's also selling access because he had a dinner the other night where people paid, I don't know, $500,000 must be the magic number for him. So they paid $500,000 to eat like something that looked like a TV dinner. I literally couldn't tell the difference from I didn't know what was on the plate. Let's just say that. I don't know. The steak looked like a brownie. I guess the mashed potatoes. This is because people told me what the food was because I'm looking at it like, what the fuck is that? A biscuit? No, it's mashed potatoes. I'm like, oh, yuck. So it looked like a TV dinner that he fed these people for $500,000. He did a short speech and then he left. They didn't even get access. They thought they were going to get his ear, like to be able to bribe him. But I think the people who paid more than $500,000 got a chance to go in the back and, talk whatever bribery shit. Because it's bribery, right? Like these people are buying like his cryptocurrency and then they're getting pardoned because the cryptocurrency, there's no real regulations on it. There's no regulatory bills going on. So this is just like money laundering. It's like this money is going straight to him. So if you're a foreign entity or a foreign government that wants to bribe the American pig, all you have to do is buy some cryptocurrency. That money goes straight to him, and tell him what you want. He'll get it. He'll make it happen. I mean, there's like 1,000 pardons. Why do we think these pardons are happening? Yeah, the Chrisleys or whoever the hell they are, they got pardoned. They had 7 to 12 years. These people built banks out of $36 million. They were tax evaders. He pardoned them. Why? Because they're the same kind of people. It's like they think white collar crime is the better crime. Like it's like, it's not really a crime. But people suffer. So if like someone's defrauding your bank that you're at by $36 million, that bank wants that money back. So they're going to try to get that money back with what they charge you if you have overdraft fees or fees for this fee. They're getting their money back, right? Like not from the Chrisleys, but from us. Like that's how that works. They got pardoned. Some sheriff that was and those people pled guilty, by the way. He still pardoned them. They're like, oh my God, we were so innocent. Also, that sheriff that was on video taking money. Thousands of dollars on video taking money. He'd take money from one guy. Then there's the next video with him pinning like an honorary sheriff badge on him because the guy paid for it. Like he got pardoned. Kanye West had him pardoned, like some notorious gang member. He got pardoned. I mean, like if you got like a cool $1 million, you just get pardoned. Like that's just pardon like Halloween candy. Whoever, you just get a pardon. That shit is like, it's corruption. He's making so much money, but let's let Jessica, our favorite Fox News person, the only one there that has some sense, talk about it. Jessica, take it away.
Level of corruption from last night. Tell him I loved his op-ed. And Greg mentioned a staggering level of corruption. And I just got a note. that the staggering level of corruption from last night's meme coin dinner.
That's
Trump
what
has
you're
said,
focusing on, the meme coin.
40% of Donald Trump's wealth has been accumulated since he became president because of 2 crypto coins. The New York Times did interviews with foreign buyers of this cryptocurrency who came over here to have dinner with him. A guy from South Korea.
This is not even part of the segment.
So what?
You're talking about a meme coin.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about who's corrupt and who is profiting off the American office.
Did he try to cover that up? I don't think so.
Yeah, Caroline Levitt said
you're defending an administration that covered up a dying leader, and you're sitting here going, but meme coin, meme coin.
I'm saying billions.
All right, let's
of
give Paul a
dollars.
chance to clean it up real quick. Paul, final thoughts.
Clean on my side of it.
Fox News is so disgusting. Like, I don't know how she does this every day with these people. Like, they are disgusting. They're condescending. They're misogynist, and they know it's wrong. Right? I don't know how we are comparing people buying cryptocurrency with no regulation and the money going straight into Trump's pocket, which is corruption, which he's not supposed to be doing because he's the president. He can get broad, with Joe Biden's cancer diagnosis. What do you mean covering it up? Has it been proven that people knew he had cancer? Like, because that's just not true. Where's the comparison? We still haven't even seen Trump's medical records from the ear that he said got shot. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, that's not even, it's not, they will say and do anything for Donald Trump. And it's just really, I don't know how anyone could be like that, because I kid you not, I thought about this today. If someone offered me, like, I would give you, I don't know, $10 million to say 10 great things about Donald Trump on social media. And people have to know it's you doing it. Like, you can't do it hidden, whatever. I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't do it. I have a job, so I don't fucking care. I have a house, I don't care. Keep your fucking money. I would not do it because I know the damage that could do to people, to believe that there's any good in this man. So that's why it's crazy that these people are so into him. It's just like proximity to power. And he's not even powerful. He's a weak, petty man fighting with Harvard University because they won't capitulate and let him tell them, a college, private college, who they should hire, what students they should have. He's mad because they're fighting back. So he's just going to keep going toe to toe. Also, maybe his son applied and didn't get in. But it's really hard. It's definitely hard. Like, again, people voted for this guy. But I do want to play a couple of more videos because we're past the time of just about like conversations that white people are starting to have and be honest with themselves, which is actually a good thing. So let's hear one of these conversations.
Told you that they were voting for him, because of the economy, they were lying. I think people voted for him because this country, too many people in this country couldn't even think about voting for a black female. So when they, but they don't want to say, they're not going to say, I'm not voting for her because she's a woman or she's black. God forbid she's both. Oh, and by the way, she's married to a Jewish guy. They're not going to say that. They're going to say, I'm voting for him because of the economy. They're liars.
Hold on.
He's not lying. He's absolutely right. It was never about the economy. The economy was always great. Well, not great. There was inflation, but it was doing good. Trump was making money under Biden's economy. Now, Walmart is like, no, we're raising our prices. Target's all fucked up. They got to raise their prices because one, people stopped going to their store because they were anti-diversity. The prices of things are going up. Tariffs are taxes. There's no way to cut it. If someone goes to you and say, well, we need tariffs because we need manufacturing in America, that's not happening. Newsflash. Some manufacturing can come here. Could we need like chips and stuff? Yeah, we should be making some of that stuff here. But all of it is never going to come here. We don't have enough places for the manufacturing companies. We don't have people because Trump is not funding manufacturing companies. You need people to invest in them. That's not happening, right? Because when the next president comes and may change the tariffs, people are going to buy outside of America. No one's investing. You won't have enough workers. No American is going to sew Coach purses for $2 a day. Let's just be real, right? You're going to be fighting for at least minimum wage. No one's paying you that, right? Because if manufacturers had to pay workers that $17 an hour to sew inseams of Coach purses or whatever, that purse is going to go from whatever it costs now, $400, $500, $600 to $10,000. Like, it's going to go up. Same with the iPhone, which absolutely cannot be made here. It cannot. China knows how to make them. It's one of their specialties. We would have to not only have a manufacturing company, we would have to try to teach and train people on how to do it. But then also you need manufacturing companies to make all the different parts of it. So it won't just be one company. So that's where the disconnect is. It's like a pair of sneakers is coming from maybe 3 or 4 countries, pair of Nikes, right? Shoestrings are probably coming from Taiwan. The soles of the shoe are probably coming from somewhere else, like Mexico, like they're coming from all over. So it's just not going to happen. But what it is happening, because there are tariffs right now, not as much as he said, but there are tariffs. So things have gone up right now. They just have. Check it out if you don't believe it. Go on Amazon. Things have gone up $10, $20, $30. Walmart said they were doing that. So that's where we are. Last thing, if you have not been on social media, specifically Twitter and Blue Sky, I don't think they talk about this on Instagram. Because speaking of tariffs, oh wow, I have a segue. People are saying that he chickens out, right? Because he kind of does. He's like, well, I did have a meeting with China, but he doesn't, right? Like first it was like 140% tariffs, and then he's like, oh no, it's gonna be 10%. Like because he gets pushed and then he chickens out because he's a chicken. So they're saying acronym TACO, TACO. Trump always chickens out. So there are a bunch of memes of Trump as a chicken, taco. Yeah, so for us to leave tonight, we have to leave laughing because we have to laugh sometimes. So this video made me laugh a lot. It is a question that was asked to him this week, and this is exactly how he answered it. So that is not altered, but his suit is altered. So let's take a listen to the question and his answer. Yes, baby Juggernaut. iPhones would be like $30,000 if they were made here. You're absolutely right. And then we wouldn't get iPhones. Maybe Androids would love that. I don't know. But let's look at this last video so we can say goodnight, guys.
Never heard that. You mean because oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard. Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number. And I said, you have to open up your whole country. And because
he's trying to explain how he did not chicken out, because obviously I cut off the question part, and they asked him or said, they're going around saying that you chickened out. What do you think of that? And he gets pissed off. So let me back up now that you have the context.
Oh, and then I chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said, you have to open up your whole country. And because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till July 9. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And we have an end date of July 9th. You call that chickening out?
Yeah, we do. We call it chickening out. We also call it lying, because that's what you're doing. You're a liar. Anyway, everyone, thank you. Thank you for stopping by with me. I know I'm inconsistent here. I'm sorry, but I do have to take a little break. I'm sure you guys understand that, because I'm sure you take breaks from all of this madness as well. So you can see me every Tuesday, though, on the Black and White Show at 7 p.m. I may or may not be here next week. That's why I say hit that notification bell, because depending on what happens in the news, I may be here. But everyone, please enjoy your weekend. Be safe out here. Be strong. We got this as long as we stand together, united. So have a good night, everyone. Thank you, Baby Juggernaut. Thank you, Claudine, for stopping in. I really, really appreciate it. Somebody else was in here too. Sweet Tea, Fleur. I don't have my glasses on. Fleur de Lis. I'm sorry if I mispronounce anything, because I don't have my glasses on. But thank you, Sweet Tea, for popping in as well. Again, please like, share, subscribe to this video, and hit that notification bell. Good night, everyone. Sorry, I'm writing Claudine, so I am still here.